this is just a quick message for like um, really all historically black colleges, universities, whatnot. But I would say I'm just gonna single out Tuskegee for an example. Why? This is a message from a city. You know what I'm saying? Small city, Killeen, Texas. I'm a ask Tuskegee. Why haven't you, as a institution that was about building, as the Booker T. Washington founded it, and that was the whole purpose since its inception. Now I'm asking, why haven't you, as a community, because you was there to become the builders of this country, because we're the indigenous people and this is our country, always have been. So after all the civil wars with our people and these invaders or whatnot, we came to the conclusion, you know, but all parties are going to rebuild. So we have an institution that was supposed to be the leading of our people of builders. So where we go there and learn the advancements, because we were the advanced people who brought all these things, every invention you could think about, whatnot, uh, railroads, all this, till they started having the immigrants come in, the Oriental, Asian people, or whatever, however you want to use the terminology. I'm not trying to be derogatory when I say that. So I'm saying these foreigners came and they started taking up those jobs. You know, the railroads were our thing. You know what I'm saying? We was the ones who was knowing how to do the steel. You know what I'm saying? We was very educated. You have to be retaught, retrained if you're still going with the out of Africa theory. That's a theory that was introduced to us by people who also came up with eugenics and Planned Parenthood and things that's not for us, is what I'm saying. It's for you to do the research. I'm just got a brief moment and trying to be as clear as I can. Uh, think about this. We were a people who couldn't read or write, as they say, in like 1964. If that was the case, how in 1965, when you say the free, we're going to go by the year you say we free, and look at it, did we have towns, banks, teachers, writers, and you see what I'm saying? You know, the union came about and all this. You know, Booker T. Washington comes about after this in around this era. Then you have Frederick Douglass. These people, how does he own the banking system? If we was actually what you think? No, it was really we were rebuilding. So I go back to the subject, Tuskegee. If we were rebuilding, and in a time where we were leading in all inventions and all things like that, you can name it, that you are the ones that should be possessing the greater knowledge of technology and also all inventions and all that to build cities as we once were, you know what I'm saying, solar power cities, whatnot. Your study is supposed to be higher than everyone else's because you basically are the ones that was first free. If we look at it in the sense of education and leaders put forth to champion a way for the people. So I say that to say, where are those that's within the institution that reach out to our to our cities? You know, if the whole country is ours, reaching out to our cities. We represent one of the cities of yours. Where's the information being passed on to our people? Because we was not like the others who made education. This was something done by one of our presidents, our European president, that came along and started making universities you have to pay to go. That was purpose. Because think about it, if college was free, like high school is going to the next thing, how educated would our children be? How much more relieved would our people be without student loan and debt and all that? You see what I'm saying? That's why we supposed to govern our own. Taxation without proper representation. That's what's going on. That system is not working for us. Voting, y'all get mad at young men who try to speak up because it's not going with the norm of what you've been taught and indoctrinated with. So in your mind, we're always judge pretense. You see the goals, you judge what a person knows. You judge, you know what I'm saying, where they from. Or they from Texas, they down south. We education. We did not go through Juneteenth as slaves. We went through Juneteenth, meaning we was the last ones to accept a union with, because Texas has always been its own thing. Like, man, they'll go to its own nation. You understand, Texas never was that. The Republican Party came from the blacks of Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand, like, we accidentally, some of them, I'm going to say some deliberately, but some accidentally sold us out because we are good people. We are not the racist side, so we can fall victim. That's the problem right there. Being that we are naturally, when these people said they arrived in America, I'm looking at, oh, this is crazy right here. See a picture with all type of, you know what I'm saying, sisters in college and stuff. But I say that to say, we are a people, when they said when they arrived, we was like, so we was the friendliest people they ran across in the world. Now think about that. These copper colored people, you know, red, we're the only people that got all these different shades anyway. You see what I'm saying? Like, you would look at me like, well, he mixed with, and then my brother darker, you know, it's like, we always had all these shades of colors. It's just like in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Africa is, all those people indigenous there, they have different shades. America, if you really know the real size of the map, America is dang near the similar size as Africa. When you do it right, north and south, that's one continent. It's not no nothing, you know, stop that. It's one continent. That's why they call it north and south. They're dividing us to make us think they brought, anyway, back to the subject. I say that to say that we came and, you know, are classified in all the indigenous people. So as an indigenous people, you have the leading information and you're supposed to pass it on to these communities and address the problems, the social ills. You should be leading the way for us. Let me show you an example myself. I know you give me the lot, the land, boom, right here. Example, a house that once was, I guess, 100,000. I think this was like 100,000 back. You know, I'm just saying the years, what it would have cost in the 90s, I'm saying. You know, bam, now it's 300,000 to get this home. Something with material and a team. If you gave me just the material, I can go get the team. I have the team. But I'm saying we can make this house something we can make in one day. Why do we have to take 30 years to pay for? You see what I'm saying? The solutions, here's the population, this is the numbers, how many people we have, here's the amount of product it takes. My team, we can go produce those many houses right now. You know what I'm saying? It'll take us about a month to produce the amount of houses. Nobody have to pay for nothing. That's what I'm meaning by grants and loans being utilized in the right way, and we establishing things where our people actually have the land grants that we deserve, that Martin Luther King actually died behind. People be talking about he died. No, he was killed. He was murdered. He was assassinated. This man spoke up for people. This is why I'm passionate about this, because people are actually were murdered behind speaking on these subjects. That's the seriousness of this. Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you have to understand people were murdered behind standing up. Khalid Muhammad, you have to understand, like, people spoke up. And when the times that you have to understand that the tricks that have been played against us, when you be very careful, because it's coming a day that these people are going to have to just identify and step away from something that's been proven to be the most devious thing and treacherous toward our people. We know what I'm saying? We be thinking they're our allies, but it's been the Jewish community. And anytime you see our people, anybody of ours that's aligned with that, want to pacify in any type of way, that historically our people have been speaking against that. That's why they try to control our, make puppet leaders around us, because that's been the game. These are the people that stirred up and made white people think that they were so much different than us when they was coming over here as slaves. That's why people talk about working on a plantation. That was a job. Like today, you're still slaves. When people were picking cotton, that was an occupation that paid well. When the people, it irritates me when people talk about they taking the jobs that nobody want. What are you talking about? I'm from here. Texas is the example. Before it was called Texas, you know what I'm saying, we had our own words and languages. You know, so a lot of people have languages for the whole entire continent, Turtle Island, and all this. We would, Niji people and so forth. There's so much to talk about. But I'm saying, basically, when people say, "Oh, well, it was Mexico before Texas," well, it was Spain before Mexico, and before Spain, it was, another name before that. I can't even speak the tongues of all these languages. You know what I'm saying? But you can research it. I mean, what I'm saying is, our family's indigenous. You look inside the pyramids and mounds. It was our people. They still got. You can argue all the other things, but you go inside here and they say, "Let's go." Well, we'll see who house is it. Let's go inside the house. And we go inside the house. You see the picture. Hey, that's my family member. That's my mama. That's So they got the pictures. You see our faces. So it's like the game is over. You can't argue with us no more or make us feel crazy by trying to hide the information. It's researchable now. You know what I'm saying? So many know. So I'm saying that you land a new name on top of us. So you land Mexico and say, well, we're gonna cut this jurisdiction down and we're gonna become allies and we're gonna get along and this and that. So they made a jurisdiction like they did Planet Fort Hood. You see what I'm saying? They plant installation. That's what they did. Like they planted Israel. You see what I'm saying? In the middle of the Middle East, as they call it. It's the same thing. They planted Mexico as an installation. This is what empires do. So these are Spaniards that came amongst the basically black Texas niggas. You know what I'm saying? We black Texas niggas is how we talk. You've never been able to conquer that. We didn't fought off Spaniards. We didn't fought off the Portuguese. We didn't fought off the British. We didn't fought off. So Texas has been something like you say this. I made one of my family members think about it because we got Apache, all these names they use, Apache and Comanche. But you got to understand, it was also a time where certain Arkansas tribes, empires ran even portions of Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas. That was all big. So it's different time periods and eras, and that's why you got Gullah Geechee and all this, and that's in the South, in Seminoles and all that over there in Florida. You got a lot to learn to know that we've been here and history shows the copper colored and all this, the red skin and all this. These people fought and have history. And I make them remember, like, okay, if you're not from there, who brought your people there? I'm just using Houston as an example. Make them think about it. Because I can go back to when they first started integrating, putting government funded schools over there for our children to start going. But you have to understand there's certain divisions that they always really call Apache territory that's the most historical uh, area landmarks of Houston, that are black communities. Those are black communities still. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we use this term black because back then that was a bad term. Because you gotta think about, we played a dozen. That's us as a people. Like, hey, you black as we. So that's why we always be. Hey, don't call me black. It's like different tribes and stuff. You know what I mean? You with them, you from the west side, isn't it? So it's also that. It's the mentality, like, call me who I am. Respect. I ain't from over there, you know what I'm saying? They food like, man, I ain't from Killeen, I'm from Austin, or you know what I'm saying? I ain't from Chippewa, I'm from Killeen. Like we always been like that as a people. But it's so you can't make it like we was always all together. That's what I'm saying. So get out that mind frame as why are we so divided and easy to be conquered? That's a reason right there, because we have our little divisions. So I'm saying we have people that died on the line of reuniting. Like, hold up, after all these games and understanding that we was here. That's the most important thing. We was here. Now, after understanding that, let's establish what we need to establish. Let's sit down. This government, y'all been doing what y'all done did. Y'all are taking our money, our taxes. If you understand what's going on, that's what I'm meaning. If we're paying taxes, you're allocating money for foreign aid when you haven't given the proper domestic aid. Are you hearing what I'm saying? In a relationship, I explained that my wife would take that and disrespect to the family if I'm taking all the money that, since she's giving me and I'm giving it to all these other families while our family is suffering. and I'm not giving nothing properly back to all the damage that I've done in this relationship. That's what I'm saying. So on the level of maturity, we don't have to go Republican, Democrat. That's what we're saying. So we have men. I'm just one of many. I'm not saying something that's spectacular to like when you see Charleston White, that's when he say Texas nigga, that's what we are is here. But we do have minds. We had greater minds. Right now we're messed up because it gotta be that extra because like god dang it's wild it's we always been the wild west and they mess us up with laws. This is an example. How do we you make laws not for us but for us in a manner, and that's from one of my brothers out of Austin said that, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna give he hit me with it. I thought about you right because you are disarming us. I'm gonna go deep with it. You disarming our people with this law. If a young male gets sentenced and loses his right. Now he rehabilitated himself, comes home, has a home. How am my wife and children supposed to protect themselves if I'm ex-felon? You see what I'm saying? Texas, by law, Texas is its own nation, really. You know what I'm saying? By law, my territory, I'm wild west, they open carry. You know what I'm saying? This European racist can walk in with his thing on his hip legally. So respectfully, I'm supposed to be able to walk in with mines on my hip. That keeps things around here leveled out in Texas. It's always been how it is. But then you create laws to where now, where you get the high statistics of us going to jail. Yes, because you're taking us to jail, our young men to jail because they have weapons. They have their bow and arrow. That's their right. That's their constitutional right. That's what we made a treaty about, is my point. So I'm speaking on that because that's something that needs to be addressed and changed. We never agreed to that. No black woman agreed to disarming her man to protect her home. We may you may use the black woman against us and all this type of stuff and however you do it. But as a unit, we never agree because this is taking our men from the families. It's already bad you using all these other things, but this is something that was always constitutional. In case, this is why I say this, because we are protected by the Constitution to even have militias to protect our people in case of invasion, like what didn't happen. That's what all that Constitution, everything detailed was in there. Those were not just white people detailing these damn constitutions. It's a lie. Wake up and know who really wrote the Constitution. Wake up and know who actually, why the penny copperhead and who Abraham Lincoln really was and what he really wrote, what was going on. That's what I'm saying. You have to understand that to know that we have the right to be ready at any given time. If we're under attack by China or anything, you know what I'm saying, Russia, whatever you name, our men are armed enough to protect ourselves, not sit back. What are we? You disarming the people. That law makes no sense unless it's a conspiracy against our people. That's the only thing. That law, because another reason why I say that, because they leave it at the judge's discretion and all this. So it's like I go to another state, they laws change. No, one federal law, we all by constitutional right should have our gun. I don't care where I travel. So now you lock our brothers up in a different city or town or state where he from, mess up his family and all this. No, this is why I'm saying that. Here in the state, I'm gonna leave it at this because I just want us from institutions and as a people to figure it out, work together. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can figure it out in your own communities. You know what I'm saying? I can't give the answers if I can't figure it out with my group. You know what I'm saying? People, we get into it. So I'm saying that, but we know what's on the menu. But some of us that's younger don't know. But if they catch on faster at a younger age, they can figure it out. Because we get old in our ways and become, you know what I'm saying, against each other because of certain things that's been done in the community. Like this person got old vendetta from this. So I'm saying that to give it to the young community and work for the better. This law is an example of how laws are used against us. In Texas, if we can have a young black male, let's put him at 25 years old, and a young white male. and a young, you know what I'm saying, other. They all different occasions, let's say the same day, got caught in the same county, same city, same side of town. They get caught with these guns. They get caught with a gun each. They go to jail for the same crime. They get prosecuted for the same crime. They go do time for the same crime. The federal government can later pick it up and send the black person to the federal system. You say it's double jeopardy, but that's what they be getting away with because of this law. Are y'all understanding? Our system is filled up in the federal where I've been. Bear witness. There's people doing time for guns. Are you understanding what we're saying? Now we know if you made it where these people that go down here and rehabilitate themselves and come home and be successful in society and change and about their family after they grew, because a lot of them go down there as kids. I bear witness, went down as a kid, as a child. You understand it? You come home and you mature and you come home and become a husband and a family man and all these things and try to, society can run you crazy due to these laws everywhere. Oh, you convicted felon, all these things that don't matter. People don't care about no convicted felon if you hire immigrants. They hiring cartel members and to come do the job and all this type of stuff. But you got a problem if a young black male making a life change, you want to know what he's, take that off of the job application. There's a lot that we need to, you know what I'm saying? Because these things are hidden racism. Ways to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying a hidden way to do racism in the law to send overpopulate blacks like that. Now you done double jeopardy in a lot of these, but you pass them on jobs because of, you know what I'm saying, this ex-felon. That's it. You know, it's a new way to call you a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's disarming us and making us, you know what I'm saying, with poor resources, poor choices after that. So these are the things I believe we can address, things that we can change as a people in our day and time. Because who can stop us if we stand on that? That's why Martin was saying we going back and we going to demand our change. Look at his last speech. It was about proving we the indigenous people. We've been here before everything. That's what he's standing on. We going back to get our check fine. Because in the Constitution, what it was saying, an agreement was where the 40 acres and the mule come from, the agreements that came with that, which was Texas people pushing things in there. You better understand that. When it's talking about the Confederate and all that, you better understand who the Confederate really was. Why you think some black people be wearing that flag and all that, that Confederate flag. These are Indian tribe stuff that had white people were a part of, because as people know, they were slaves as well, meaning they came over here as immigrants to work on these plantations as well. You work on a plantation right now. Some people, when you went to Tesla and all, you're on a plantation. You get there, do this. They shuttling and you on the bus and stuff. You know what I'm saying? People come. So wake up, man. Today is a plantation. Meaning, the argument has always been the minimum wage. People are not able to breathe. People are stressed out. This is not living. Now the mothers has to work because it's so stressed out on the man. He's getting so low of a wage. The woman trying to help out. So it got to the point where the woman feel like she don't need the man and all that. That comes from the economical change and shift that they done with a certain group of white people who changed and made what minimum wage was, so they can overwork us and keep us in a cycle. That's what I'm saying. So we know the dollar and the economy level, the minimum wage is supposed to be a certain adjustment toward that. It never changes. And why? Why does it not change? And why does it take so long? That's by design, by government design, because the government is the one holding that back. This is why we do the voting. So it keeps you in a rat race and keep putting your vote in, hoping one of these people change something. When it's a game, they both left wing, right wing on the same bird. That means they got the same puppet master pulling the strings. Wake up. We are our own leaders. We are our own people. You know what I'm saying? The Amish could put together a goddamn something in one day, a barn and a house and all that, same way we used to work. Every institution and all this stuff used to be goddamn the tribal grounds. You look around. They took over institutions. These were agreements. That's where Native American come from. These were immigrant agreements to be, hey, well, we can get a reservation. We come over here, this and that. They go to boarding schools to learn the ways of us. Ain't nobody teach us how to cook and all this and how to crop and all that. We had all the land. We the farmers. We the wake up. I don't want to keep talking. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just really in love with my people. It's nothing against Africa. I know too much about African history. I know the empires. Y'all try to make Africa look weak when y'all tell that story about we were slaves. Yes, Africa sold out. Yes, there's been reported slaves that did come over here. But it's also, we had more was shipped over there to Liberia. That's where they get that from. Learn about that. Sierra Leone and all this stuff. We have to wake up to where understand that those were empires over there as well. Africa was not never no pushover. You get colonialism from taking our leaders with the money, the bribery. So we have puppet leaders who sell us out. That's what colonialism is. They get that in Jamaica, Haiti, goddamn Cuba, wherever you think of, Panama, wherever you see our people at, that's what they did. That when you tell them we were African, they would say Afro-American because our hair, the indigenous people everywhere here can make that Afro. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they started using that terminology more, Negro. You know what I'm saying? That's all that. Look at all the books. You know what I'm saying? Of 1500 to 1600s, anything before the 1900s. You know, so look into them books and you see the wording. Pay attention how they change. What's the brother? One of you, the liberal leader. What's his W.E. Du Bois' book? What was the book? Soldier Folks. I read both versions. It's two versions. I read one. He explains his journey down the South and how racist he's seen it, this and that, but he noticed it was the Jews. But then the other version of the book that most people is more popular, they edited. He's making it say, I believe they changed the word to like white sellers. Pay attention. This is not being racist. How can they say anti-Semitic and like we say, Semitic meaning, you know what I'm saying? More you got, you know how many Sumerian and the Arabs and all this is Semitic. You know what I'm saying? You're not the so if person is family members are Muslim, you know what I'm saying? My family members are Christian. Are you understanding? We get voodoo and hoodoo of our people of the South because that's our ways. You know what I'm saying? The indigenous ways has always been, hey, that's like our way of saying karma. You know, that's what the way it's passed down to us. Like, man, don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? That come back on you. Man, I don't play with black cats and all. You know, man, they bring me all that type of stuff. That's our ways of the South. So it's like it's made fun of to when we say our ancestors and all that. When I think about my ancestors, my people, and this and that, that's um that's my right. Other groups say that it's okay, but then when it's us, when we talk about our ancestors and stuff, it's looked at as bad. Oh, that's voodoo, this and that. No, I'm able to talk about. Now one of my ancestors is Martin Luther King, so I ain't able to talk about Martin Luther King. Wake up, man. You see what I'm saying? That's not voodoo. Well, if it is, oh well. If it's hoodoo or voodoo, yes, that's okay. That's our religion. We revere our people, and we not afraid of death. That's one thing about the South, and I want that to be understood and passed on. We did not lose them wars. Them Gullah Geechee defeated, whooped them. Seminoles whooped them. You understand? The Mississippians were fighting. That's where the Confederate, all that stuff was in there. Them tribes fighting. The Texas Revolt. These niggas ain't lose. They ain't bring. So we got freed in 1864, and miraculously 1865. Houston and Dallas and all these cities already got millions of niggas sitting there. Come on, man, wake up. Wake, that's what I'm meaning. Like, nobody brought us. What plantation were all these blacks on in? Where? What are you talking about? When these people, settlers, coming to a Rosebud with my people and all this, and Rogers and all this, Cameron and all this back here, Temple, Killeen, they come into this region. You're settling in the 1900s. Our people have grave sites and burials right here in it'll say from 18 just think about it. We have family. I'm showing you documentary of the sites so we can stop all this. I'm showing you sites where our people are buried in the 1800s when settlers didn't even make it to our region, to the late 1890s and 1900s. They didn't even found Rosebud or Colin to make it until 1902 when my grandma would have raised me. He was born. Her daddy was already there. So it's like, wake up. Truth is here.